Are you exploring other paths other than the student pathway? So in this video, let's talk about different options for you to get here. My name is Coach MC and you are watching SLE Canada, where we help international students and immigrants here in Canada. So make sure that you subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like this video. There are different ways to get here to Canada, and we've been focusing on the student pathway for so many years because that was my route when I came here to Canada. So now, since the student pathway is becoming challenging, it's not suitable for everyone, let's explore the other ways for you to get here. So we are going to talk about that, and at the end of the video, let me know which one is going to be suitable for you. Your first option will be employment. If you can find an employer who's willing to hire you and go through the process of LAMIA and getting your work permit outside Canada, then that will be the least expensive. So they have to process the OEC. If you're coming from the Philippines, you will go through POEA agency, and then you will also need to hire an immigration consultant to help you process the LAMIA. And those processes, they have associated costs. So the employer must cover those expenses. If they're all willing to do that, let's say your family member, they have a family business here and they're willing to hire you and cover those expenses, then you can do that. And also, if your family member can find an employer here who can hire you and go through those processes, then you can consider the employment option. Just be aware of agencies selling LAMIA, okay? Some agencies, they will sell LAMIA for about 15,000 Canadian dollars up to 30,000 Canadian dollars. And if you're gonna spend that money, then rather study here, then you get a diploma. But for LAMIA, it should not be that expensive. Overall cost, it should be less than 7,000 Canadian dollars. That will include your OEC processing fee and also the application fee for LAMIA. And also, if your employer will hire an immigration consultant to apply for the LAMIA and also work permit, then it should not be that expensive. The only challenge here is not all employers are eligible to hire a foreign worker. They also need to justify that they cannot hire a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident here in Canada. And also, if they can just hire someone without shelling out money, then they're probably gonna consider that, right? But if you can still find an employer who's willing to spend money just to hire you, then consider that option. Again, you need the OEC. If you're coming from the Philippines, you need to go through a POEA agency, depending on the job. But again, we have an affiliated POEA agency if you need help. And also for LAMIA, you may need help from an immigration consultant, and we also have that in SLE. So just comment below if you have an employer willing to help you, and you can connect with us. So let's say you can't find an employer here who's willing to help you or hire you, then that's the time you consider studying here in Canada. But there are some things that you have to consider before opting to study here. Number one that you have to consider if you're going to study here is your finances. Again, if you're going here on a student visa, you need to have the proof of funds. So it could vary depending on the number of family members that you will be bringing with you, but it could go up to from 50,000 up to 100,000 for the whole proof of funds. But the education, the tuition fee would be from 20 to 40,000 Canadian dollars for the whole program. So it really depends. But you have to ask yourself, are you willing to spend that money for your education? Another reason why many people consider the student pathway, it's because of the open work permit. And you know that if you study here, depending on the program, you can get up to 3 years post-grad work permit, and that's an open work permit. It means that you can work anywhere in Canada to any employers. So now, just to compare it to our option one, if you will be on an employment here through LAMIA, then you're gonna be on a closed work permit. You're only allowed to work to that employer, and if that job doesn't have the PR pathway, then you are going to be stuck there. Not like in the student pathway, through postgrad work permit, you can choose where you want to work, right? So let's say you want to work in healthcare, agriculture, STEM, transportation, trades. those sectors are prioritized for permanent residency. And if you want to work in a regulated profession, let's say you need education, then the student pathway would be a viable option for you so that you can gain the extra point for education, for professional designation, extra points for your Canadian work experience. So you're not limited to just work to one employer. And on the postgrad work permit, you are less susceptible to abuse, right? Being exploited by your employer. So let's say you feel like you're not getting paid on time, or you're not getting paid the right salary, or you're being abused in your workplace, you can just easily quit and find another employer. So yeah, that's something you have to consider as well. If you want to consider this option, just comment below, or you can connect with us through our Facebook or email us. I will be leaving the link in the description box. Now moving on to our third option. So let's say you don't want to work for someone, or you don't want to go back to school because you've been a business owner or a senior manager for so many years, then now consider the entrepreneurial route. So this route is not oversaturated because it has a special eligibility. So before we move on to the eligibility and how to get through this route, let me tell you what I think about it and what I like about it. If you love running a business, if you have the experience and you like the entrepreneurial journey, then this route is for you. Number one, and what I like is you can bring your family with you while running a business. And also, if you can find a business here and it's a viable business, right? That could make you so much money. And while you're running your business, you can actually process your PR application. So let's start with the eligibility first. So this route, it's kind of different from the student visa. Student visa is proof of funds. They only need to see between 50 to 100,000, right, in your bank account. But this one, they want to see your total net worth. They want to see at least 300,000. And this is going to depend on the stream, okay? But 300,000, that will include your properties, jewelries, cars. So in total, it could be under your name or your common law or spouse's name. And they also require you to invest to your business at least 100,000 Canadian dollars. So when I say invest, you transfer the money to the business account because that's what you're going to use for the operational cost. You're probably thinking this is a lot of money. Actually, this one, it's like an investment, right? Business is a risk and it's a gamble. And if you found a business here, it really depends on what kind of business, what type of business you're gonna do here. Only business owner can understand this. Only people that already run a business could actually relate to this. But if you don't have experience, it will be a big risk. Let's say you're gonna open a restaurant, then of course you need more investment. But if you are going to open a business with low cost, right, low expenditures, then you don't have to spend 100,000 to run a business. So it really depends. If you want to know more about what kind of business you can open here that will not require so much money, comment below. I can make another video about that. But again, this route, it's not for everyone. And if you don't have experience, it's going to be challenging for you. Mostly, I have seen a lot of Chinese or Indians doing this if they have already experienced it, running a business, let's say in the Middle East or in China. They do that here as well in Canada. And while doing that, they get the permanent residency as well. So let me know in the comments section which one you're interested in. And if you want me to make more videos about the entrepreneurial stream, I will do that because it's very interesting. And thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys!